But we're going to start with off-season basketball, right? Now, we already know that Caitlin Clark is not going to Project B. As of right now, she is not going, all right? This is the first time she's actually addressed, out of her own mouth, Project B. Okay? So this is interesting because, yeah, she says, I'm going to play in the WNBA. Full stop.
Caitlin Clark finally addressed the question that had been circling the sport for weeks, and she did not hedge her answer. Her message landed with clarity and force. She intends to compete in the WNBA. It was more than a routine confirmation. It was a decisive response to the growing buzz around alternative paths and headline-grabbing offers tied to the mysterious Project B. With that single declaration, she cut through the noise and brought the speculation to a full stop. By speaking publicly, Clark put to rest the idea that she might bypass the league that selected her, a move many debated but few truly expected. Her calm delivery only amplified the impact, signaling confidence rather than defensiveness. Almost instantly, the narrative around women's professional basketball shifted, forcing fans, executives, and analysts to reassess what comes next. This wasn't just an update on her career plans, it was a defining moment that reshaped the conversation and closed the door on the most dominant rumor in the game.
The reason a lot of her fans would like to see her go over there, not just to be able to have another avenue to watch her play, but a lot of her fans want to go because they believe it would be a shockwave moment for the WNBA, the players and the league, leadership in the league, all across, Kathy, Adam, the Indiana Fever, boom. It would send a jaunting message from her to them. Hey, I can.
The question itself left little room for ambiguity, zeroing in on Project B and what role, if any, it might play in her future. While Clark made her dedication to the WNBA unmistakably firm, she didn't reduce the conversation to a simple yes or no dismissal. Instead, she paused to widen the lens, offering a thoughtful assessment of what Project B represents within the evolving ecosystem of women's basketball. Her response signaled perspective, not defensiveness. Rather than brushing the concept aside, Clark openly recognized the significance of an alternative league gaining serious attention and financial backing. To her, that interest is evidence of rising confidence in the women's game and its expanding commercial value. The moment became less about her individual path and more about structural progress for the sport as a whole. In framing her answer this way, Clark demonstrated a rare awareness, one that looks past personal opportunity and squarely at the long-term growth and legitimacy of women's professional basketball.
I can go play somewhere else. And a lot of us, I know a lot of my fellow creators, I know a lot of fans feel like the league and the players in the league don't respect Caitlin Clark. It would get a lot of attention. All right, a lot of attention. And maybe, hey, Asia Wilson has got that special whistle. What would it look like if they actually gave Caitlin Clark a special whistle when you considering how they foul her all the time?
Clark was unmistakably firm in her assessment, explaining that Project B reflects how seriously people are beginning to view women's basketball. Her words carried the weight of an endorsement, even if unintended, pointing to a growing belief in the sport's untapped potential. She emphasized that the emergence of multiple leagues and pathways is not a complication, but a clear marker of advancement. For the first time in a long while, opportunity itself has become a headline. She made it clear this moment goes far beyond simply creating additional roster spots. What stands out, in her view, is the level of financial confidence now backing the women's game. Investors are committing real resources, something she noted has historically been inconsistent despite decades of elite-level play. Her reflection framed this period as a turning point, not centered on her own career, but on a global reevaluation of women's basketball and its long-overdue market value.
Now, right? So, but I do think it's interesting hearing her comments all together, right? And the fact that people are willing to invest in the league. She sends another shot at the WNBA about how important it is to get the deal done. Let's be honest. It's good to hear her talk about making sure, hey, we come together and play in the actual WNBA. Right here we go.
Clark's honesty lands even harder when viewed against the quiet friction surrounding the WNBA itself. A growing segment of fans and commentators have openly questioned whether the league, its players, and even its leadership fully acknowledge the scale of her influence on the game. To many, her rise felt unmatched, yet not always met with the level of recognition or protection such impact typically commands. That tension has been impossible to ignore. For those voices, the possibility of Clark choosing Project B represented more than a career detour. It symbolized a strategic disruption. The idea was not simply that she would leave, but that her departure would send a clear message: her value extends beyond any single league. Supporters of that scenario saw it as leverage, a way to force meaningful reflection and reform within the WNBA. In that framing, the conversation was never about walking away, but about using undeniable star power to demand change.
Just effortless. She just used them guys. I mean, that was easy pickings for her. Kelsey, Plum, way downtown, Caitlin, boom. She's knocking down threes, folks. That's a great thing to see. Caitlin Clark knocking down threes. That's fantastic. Kara Lawson, the head coach, quote, she's a terrific player, really locked in and focused.
Clark supporters, the issue of officiating has been quietly building for quite some time. Many argue that elite players across the league benefit from protective calls, while Clark routinely absorbs heavy contact without the same level of enforcement. Comparisons to established stars, such as Aya Wilson, are often cited as evidence of inconsistent treatment on the court. To those watching closely, it feels less like oversight and more like a pattern. Within that framework, Project B became more than an alternative destination. It represented a theoretical reset. The idea wasn't simply about changing uniforms, but about stepping into an environment where her presence might be officiated with greater consistency and respect. For fans, this imagined move symbolized a demand for balance, not special treatment. At its core, the debate exposes a broader frustration over fairness, visibility, and how star players are managed within the WNBA.
She was talking about just getting in there and seeing everybody, and I may have even brought some of those comments up last night during one of my videos, but this is interesting. It is. I like hearing Caitlin Clark. Now, I will say this. It's hilarious because when he asked her if Project B contacted her, she was like, of course they've contacted her. You know, of course. I would suspect she might have been the first player.
Clark's remarks also carried a pointed reminder about the league's unresolved internal business. Without raising her voice, she highlighted the urgency of finalizing a new collective bargaining agreement, making it clear this issue cannot remain on the back burner. Her reference to the upcoming season wasn't casual. It underscored the reality that uncertainty behind the scenes can directly affect what happens on the court. The message was subtle, but impossible to miss. Rather than framing it as a personal concern, Clark positioned the matter as a shared obligation. She stressed the importance of players uniting to ensure the season unfolds without disruption, keeping the focus where it belongs, on the fans. In doing so, she drew a quiet contrast between outside ventures gaining momentum and the league's need to secure its own foundation. The takeaway was clear: the WNBA must strengthen itself from within if it wants to fully capitalize on the moment it's been given.
Novak and Steve Young, they're not dumb. They know that. Now, some people have been like, well, the league won't make it without her. Well, they're going to be an international league, okay? So it's I've said this, the fire for international basketball, I mean, they put in real crowds. I went and looked at some of the attendance figures a while back, last week sometime, for international women's basketball. It's like, 7,500 to 11 or 12 or 13,000 in some of these arenas.
While debates swirled around league politics and future possibilities, a very different picture surfaced from Team USA's training camp in Durham, North Carolina. New footage captured Clark in her element, doing exactly what made her a household name: controlling the floor and burying deep shots with confidence. As headlines buzzed with Project B speculation, the video cut through the noise with something far more tangible: performance. The clip served as a timely reset for fans who have been tracking every off-court development. Watching her knock down three-pointers with apparent ease reinforced a simple truth: her focus hasn't drifted. The outside conversations, no matter how loud, haven't impacted her game. For those waiting to see her back in full competitive rhythm, the footage was both reassuring and familiar. Clark remains locked in, sharp, and every bit as dangerous as ever.
So they draw real attention. We're not talking about unrivaled and 800 people and that kind of thing, you know? Now, they're not dumb. If Caitlin Clark was involved, they could put 25, 30 in a place, I don't know, like Japan or China. They might put 50,000 in to see Caitlin Clark. No kidding. Like, I've said, would they consider a Lucas Oil? I mean, I'm just, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next.
Even as debates about league structure and future opportunities dominated headlines, fresh footage from Team USA's training camp in Durham, North Carolina shifted the focus back where Clark is most comfortable: between the lines. The clips showed more than scoring highlights. They revealed her full command of the game. Clark was threading passes through tight windows, reading defenses a step ahead, and creating clean looks for teammates with ease. It was a reminder that her value extends far beyond the stat sheet. What stood out most was how naturally she blended into a high-level environment filled with elite WNBA talent. This wasn't a player trying to prove herself, it was a leader operating within the flow of the game. Her ability to elevate those around her reinforced why she's viewed as a generational presence. One viral moment, a deep three that echoed her college-era heroics, sent social media into overdrive. The call from the sideline captured it perfectly: another long-range strike, another reminder of the gravity she brings the moment she crosses half-court. That single shot carried broader meaning. It confirmed her range, her rhythm, and her readiness. Any lingering doubts about whether the off-season distractions had dulled her edge were quickly erased. Her form looked polished, her confidence unmistakable. Those visuals spoke louder than any press statement ever could. Head coach Carol Lawson didn't hesitate to validate what the footage showed. She praised Clark's focus and competitive mindset, emphasizing that she looked sharp on both ends of the floor. Most notably, Lawson remarked that Clark hadn't missed a beat. Coming from a respected voice in the game, that assessment mattered. After a demanding rookie season and relentless off-court speculation, it signaled that Clark remains mentally locked in and physically prepared for what lies ahead. Interestingly, Sue Bird, serving as managing director for the camp, offered general comments about the gathering without singling Clark out. That absence didn't diminish Clark's presence, in fact, it highlighted